Just, just a quick one, Dana. What did you think of the John Davis and Azael knockout when he actually fell and hit his head on the table?
It was unbelievable. First of all, if you watch the season, how many of you in here actually watched the season? Did anybody actually watch the season? Yeah, handful of you. So if you watch the season, that was one of the storylines that plays out during the show. Azael was a nightmare at the house, but every time he showed up, he delivered and he won. He got here, he deserved to be here, and that was an incredible knockout. So the way a lot of these storylines played out tonight, it's crazy. It's amazing.
And do you think we're going to see Russell versus AJ too?
Russell versus?
AJ, Static.
I don't know. These are all. Let me throw this one at you. I don't make fights the night of the fight, so I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Hey, Dana.
Hey, buddy.
I spoke to one ringside physician a couple of months ago who said at that time there wasn't enough data to say one way or the other whether slap fighting or power slap is safe. But after the way that this season has played out, are you happy with the safety aspect of the sport?
Was I happy with the what? Oh, that's the only thing that matters to us. First comes safety, then comes finding talent, then comes the live event and the TV.
Is that something you'd still want to tweak?
Tweak?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think as this thing continues to evolve, we'll all get smarter. We'll all know more about it. But the thing that you have to understand when we talk about safety, and I just can't understand how people can't wrap their heads around this. But in this sport, they get to defend themselves. Okay, 300 to 400 punches a fight is what a boxer takes, right? And that's before, forget about all the sparring you did just to get there, okay? The amount of punishment that those guys take. And when you watch some of the fights, the wars that went on tonight over at the Virgin, right? These guys come in and take 3 or less slaps per event, and they go through the same exact medical testing that all these guys do. And boxing, in the time that the Zuffa era UFC has existed, there's been 0 deaths and 0 serious injuries. There's been 34 deaths in boxing. So if you really want to go after something, right, and you really want to point the finger and go, we need to do better at this and we need to clean this up, boxing is the sport that you need to go after. And I'm not trying to throw them under the bus. This is a fucking fact, And the people that are talking this shit about the health and safety have an agenda, don't like slap, or are uneducated about combat sports, or want attention.
One of the people I spoke to about safety was a neuroscientist, and he was really against it, but he was citing the fencing response where your arms kind of stiffen.
Right.
But I don't know if it's a quirk of me coming here tonight. I didn't see any of that tonight. Have the rules changed, or what? Why didn't we see that tonight?
So here's the thing. When you hear about these guys that's a neurological doctor or, one of these guys, I bet if you did your research, I bet they don't like football either. And I bet they don't like boxing. And they probably don't like hockey. And they probably don't like MMA. These are guys that are saying nobody should be allowed to take a blow to the head. Then you start getting into telling grown adults what they can and can't do, which is fucking ridiculous and completely un-American, in my opinion. But these people exist. So it's easy to throw out, somebody's writing a story about slap, and it's like, so you get this guy that starts saying, oh, they landed the this, that, and the brain injuries and all this other shit, but they don't say, oh, and by the way, this guy doesn't want people playing football or doing all these other sports either. But I guarantee you that's probably the case.
But tonight, why did we not see any of the fencing response? Has the safety improved, or is it just like more slap fighters are adhering to the rule set that is laid out that we had in front of our desks earlier?
Well, I think what's happening in what you saw tonight, those of you, how many of you were here for the March event? One guy. That's fucking hilarious. The March event was a shit show, okay? We didn't know what we were doing. The commission didn't know what they were doing. And most of the guys who were competing didn't know what they were doing. It was a test run so we could see how this thing kind of plays out. Because before then, we'd all only seen it on the internet. None of us were at a live slap event or had ever put one on before that. And, we went through the test, and realistically, Darius and Wolverine really helped us a lot in putting together the rules and teaching the fighters what to do and how to train and how to stand properly and how to swing and how to slap. So there wasn't a lot of clubbing and a lot of, flinching and big mistakes. I wouldn't say that the safety of it has improved in any way, shape, or form. I mean, from day one, we went above and beyond to make sure that this thing was safe. I would just say that the participants are getting better. And, I mean, people are still saying now, holy shit, look at me and Rogan were talking about this like 3 weeks ago. The level of talent in the UFC right now just seems to get better and better and better every year. And, so it's going to happen here too. Guess what, though? People are going to get hit, and people are going to get knocked out. This is a combat sport. And here's the thing, too. When the people that say, you shouldn't call this a sport, and it's definitely not a combat sport and all this shit, if you can get knocked out, it's a combat sport.
I know you really like the social numbers, one of the reasons you got into it, but like tonight, the live experience was pretty impressive. People wanting to get tickets, like how blown away with the live event experience out there?
Did you just say the live experience was excellent?
I thought it was, yeah.
Well, thank you. And now about selling tickets, like I said to her earlier, this is all still a work in progress for us. We got a lot of stuff to figure out. The show is a complete success. Tonight was a complete success in every way that it could be successful. But now we got to dig in and we got to figure out a lot of stuff, and there's a lot of work to do still.
I want to really put you on the spot now, but what's your problem with golf?
That's a great question. Just not my thing. Not my thing. I hate it. Think it's boring. I wouldn't want to go walk around a fucking golf course all day and fucking hit a ball into a hole. It's just not my thing. But millions of people love it. So you know what I do? I don't watch it. I don't play it. And I don't pay any attention to it. And you know what I also don't do? I don't run around fucking telling people, you shouldn't be fucking doing this. It sucks. And do your thing. When you get these lunatics that zero in on something and start telling grown adults that they shouldn't be doing it, you're a bit fucking nutty. There's something a little wrong with you. You know what I mean? And, there's been a lot of that for Power Slap. But like I said the other day at the press conference, these freaks have literally helped me blow this thing up and turn it into a machine over the last 8 weeks. So fire away. Knock yourself out. Keep going. New York Times writing stories. I love it. I love when they write stories. The looniest, nuttiest fucking people in the world. I love when they write stories.
Thanks, Dana.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Having a UFC event and a Power Slap event at the same day, is there something we can expect seeing again? Does it make sense for you? Did it work out good for you and your whole team?
I would believe that my team would murder me if I do this again. There will be a coup over at the office, and I will be overthrown. I can't keep doing this to my people. No, it's been a rough couple months, and yes, I will probably not do this again. But maybe I will. Who knows? I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. But yeah, these people have been getting murdered over the last several weeks.
Okay. There's a Brazilian fighter called Zuluzinho. He fought in Pride back those days, and now he fights slap tournaments in Russia. Would he be a good name for the next season in Abu Dhabi?
I don't know. I mean, that's what I'm interested to find out. I mean, obviously tonight, I'm laying it out there and letting people know. Right now it's tough to get people into the United States with all the crazy shit that's going on in the world. But we can get everybody into Abu Dhabi. So I can literally find the best talent from all over the world, fly them in, and do season 2. So I'm looking forward to it. And maybe he is a guy for us.
Perfect. Last one for me. Rafael Assunção, he retired tonight.
Oh, did he really? I didn't know that.
He did. I would just like to hear some words from you about him. How important was for him in UFC?
He's a nice guy. Obviously, he held a very high ranking in that division for a long time. Was right there. Was always like right on the cusp. And but great guy, great competitor. We were happy to have him here, and I wish him all the best in his retirement. You guys done with me? Yep.
Just a couple from me, Dana. It was kind of piggybacking on his when he was asking that if you would do a slap on the same night as a fight night. Mm-hmm. Long term, how closely do you want slap kind of associated with UFC? I mean, obviously UFC has a huge reach, and to get this kind of launched, it made sense to marry the two. But just kind of talk about the pluses and negatives of maybe kind of, do you want these two brands to be real closely associated, or do you think it's important that they live separately? Like what is kind of your idea on the relationship between the two?
Yeah, well, obviously I'm involved in both, so they're always going to be closely associated as long as I'm involved in both of them. But the thing is shown that it obviously can stand on its own. I mean, it's beating the UFC on the UFC's platform, which is fascinating. Did I say that tonight already? Did I tell you that the worst post for So there's a much bigger story to this, building this whole sports platform right now that I'll tell you guys when it's ready to tell you. But I got a lot of shit going on. So I don't think that we're really aligning this with the UFC. The only thing that really aligns with the UFC is that I'm involved in both of them.
And then just last one, Oscar had asked some of the fighters about, because you had mentioned tweaking some rules and stuff, and so he had asked them if they had any opinions. And I thought AJ's was pretty interesting. He said that on the first slap, if a guy gets hit and is deemed he's done, but if he's deemed still good enough where he shouldn't take another shot, but he can throw one, so that way you don't lose without getting to throw a shot. I guess I thought that was interesting. What is your thought on it, or do you think that creates suspense that you can be done after one shot?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. And yes, it's the fact that you do get to slap back. If you're well enough to slap back, it's just not a one and done. And that was one of the I had this argument with Kevin Iole tonight earlier. Iole was like, this is, the guy who wins the coin toss wins the fight. One slap and it's over. You saw tonight that that's not the case. It's a lot more competitive than people think. And tonight couldn't have shown that any better. I mean, Vern destroys everybody when he hits him. AJ took that shot, was able to recover, and actually knocks Vern out. It's just, But great question, and the answer is yes. Yeah, it's one of the cool, fun things about the rules. That it? Seriously, I appreciate you guys coming tonight. I know I beat on the media a lot, but it means a lot to me that you guys came tonight, and I really appreciate it. Have a good one.